Hey, what's going on? I'm back, and so I am something I've been meaning to do for a long time this season is start another composting bin. And so I bought this trash can, and I can't even remember how much it was, but it's a Rubbermaid black trash can with a lid that fits, and it's 50 gallons. 50 gallons, and because I was running out of composting space. I don't have a compost anymore that is just out and on the ground. I did do that a couple of times. The last time I did it, I attracted mice. They didn't just fall out of the sky, but they were already around here somewhere. We have hawks that are around here a lot, so but I attracted them to my compost. So what I found was that even if I don't have, even when I had the compost on the ground, I had more of a mice issue, but it wasn't like unbearable. So I still recommend, if you can compost, just figure it out and do it as best you can. You always have some issue with something, right? Just, I believe things work better for people than others, but so definitely don't rule that out at all. Having a compost, an open compost on the ground, or I had like a fence and had stuff inside of it. But we're about to approach the fall, and so that means leaves, right? And I need to be able to compost down some more leaves. I usually use those as my browns, and then my greens I use a lot of plant matter, food scraps and things like that, and so a combination of the browns and the greens, you all help activate your compost and heat it up and all that kind of thing. So if you want to compost, don't overthink it. I messed up my first one. Everybody says it's so easy, you don't mess it up. It's not true. Personally, my experience was with my first one, I had a container where I was composting in a gray tote, and I messed up because I didn't put holes in the tote. So water or moisture cannot drain out. And so that created an aroma, what's the word? Aromatic? No. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It stunk. It stunk real bad. And I could never come back from that. I kept reading, kept doing research that said, add browns, add paper, add cardboard, add leaves, no more moisture until it stabilizes itself. But I just could not get that together. So it was disgusting and mushy, and it stunk really bad. Anaerobic. There's that word, anaerobic. So for the past 2 or 3 years, I've been composting a trash can. So here's my first one, and y'all look at the weeds coming out of that. And that just happened this year. I have never had a weed problem, so I must have put something in there that had weeds in it, or weed seed. And then it could be that it was open too, but that looks like grass. That the grass I can't stand. It's either Crab or Johnson. I can't remember the name, or which one is which. And then I messed around and put some beans in there, and duh, they sprouted. So I have beans in my compost right now. But I'm just going to rip all that stuff out and then put it back in because it'll die. I might not put the grass back in, but I'll put the bean plants back in. But anywho, so this is how you start a trash can compost. I have a top for this one. I didn't have a top for the other, so I didn't have to worry about moisturizing the compost. It does need moisture. It does need airflow to all work together. So that's why you have to punch tons or drill tons of holes, or use one of those heated, what are they called? I can't even think of names, y'all. I'm sorry. But just use something to put holes in it. I have a drill. I bought this drill for myself. This is my first drill I've ever purchased for myself. And I feel like I'm just like, I'm like I don't know, a superhero or something. But so I'm gonna go around this trash can and punch holes everywhere that I possibly can. Tons of holes, even the bottom. You have to get the bottom. And I'm also gonna put holes in the top because I do want some moisture to fall in there. But I'm gonna keep it closed this time and just see how that works out for me. The open trash can worked fine, except this year, for some reason now I have weeds. But that was after 2 or 3 years of doing it, and I've never had weeds in there once again. But I'm just gonna let the video play while I do this. And this one has wheels on it, my other one didn't. Also, you have to figure out a way you want to get your compost out. And so if you want to cut a like an access door or a hole at the bottom, you can. I just dumped all of mine out. Even the part that was at the top, because it's the part that doesn't compost first, the bottom does, you know, as you fill it up. This I layer as much as I possibly can. I put grass clippings, which could have been where some of the weed seed came from too, but I've never really had problems with that, so that's weird. But grass clippings, leaves, coffee grounds, and food scraps are my 4 go-tos. I also put toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls in there, cardboard, you know, those. I try to rip it up as much as I can. And when I'm fooling around in the garden and I find a few earthworms, I put them in there too. But I actually, someone gave me some red wrigglers one year, and I put those in there. And so I had a nice, beautiful, dark, composted down to soil, and I dumped it in a garden bed in my backyard. I did a video on that, so if you want to go back and search for that, yep, I did a video on the finished compost, and I dumped it all in a bed, in a garden bed, and it worked out really well. So I'm just gonna let the video roll and drill some holes. Ideally, I think I would want a bigger drill bit than this, and I do have others, but I'm just going to go for it right now. But I may come back with a bigger drill bit, especially for the bottom. But again, the holes, drilling holes, is to help with that air circulation. I can leave this off if I want. Again, that would help some too, but you want as much air circulation and drainage so that moisture can come out. And I'm just drilling wherever I feel like. I personally am not trying to be cute with it or whatever. I'm just drilling tons of holes. Pulling off that plastic that you get when you pull out the drill. Because again, I don't want any of that blocking the hole. So this will take a while. But y'all get the point. And then what I'm gonna do is I have some composted horse and cow manure. And so to start my compost, I'm just gonna open this up, and then I'm gonna put in some of that to kind of start my compost. So some soil, and then I'm gonna put in actually this piece of paper towel that I used to wipe off this bucket just now. I'm gonna put that in, and I have some other paper or cardboard, and again I rip up the cardboard into smaller pieces just to help with the decomposition process. And then I have a few food scraps. I have some plant material that I've just pulled out, so like of the garden, and that'll start my compost. And it'll take me some time to fill this up, but that's okay. So when it's time to get my leaves, though, I want this to mostly be leaf compost or leaf mold, and so I'll definitely have some room for that. But I found that adding some soil with coffee grounds or some compost and coffee grounds really helps get the composting started. And of course, again, with the browns and the greens, so grass clippings, plant matter, whatever, and then your cardboard, your paper products and things, or your leaves, that kind of gets things going. And I layer as much as possible, but sometimes I don't have greens, so I just put in what I have. I don't overthink it too much. I just put in what I have, and it worked out really, really well the last time. So I have no doubt that it'll work out this time. But I'm going to continue to drill until the battery goes out, and then I'll recharge the battery. Get a bigger drill bit than this one to punch holes in the bottom, because again I want to make sure water drains out, and put some bigger holes around as well, just for that airflow. And that's it. That's how you start a trash can composting shindig. I hope that helps somebody. Thank you all so much for watching.